Even the strongest voices can tremble. The people who inspire millions often face shadows in their own lives. For over 40 years, Pastor Rick Warren has guided believers worldwide, offering hope, clarity, and purpose. Yet behind the sermons and best-selling books, his personal journey has been marked by pain, loss, and illness. The man who built one of the largest churches in the world faced struggles that no book or sermon could fully prepare him for. His story is one of faith, resilience, and the quiet power of perseverance in the face of suffering. Early life, foundations of faith. Richard Dwayne Warren, born on January 28, 1954 in San Jose, California, grew up in Ukiah, a small town known more for vineyards than megachurches. His father, Jimmy Warren, a Baptist minister and carpenter, taught him the value of service, while his mother, Dot Warren, nurtured his curiosity and love for books. In a household where faith was lived, not performed, young Rick learned that life was about helping others. He witnessed his father pour himself into communities, repairing churches, and guiding congregations, leaving an impression that would shape his own mission to serve through ministry. Teen years, a sense of calling. Rick wasn't the most popular or athletic student, but he had a rare clarity of purpose. In high school, he founded the Fishers of Men Club, the first Christian group on campus, boldly standing out during a turbulent era of cultural change. While peers chased distractions, he immersed himself in theology, leadership, and scripture. Leading Bible studies and mentoring classmates, he cultivated early leadership skills that would become the bedrock of his ministry. These formative years planted a seed, a vision to create a place where those who felt disconnected or abandoned by religion could find hope and belonging. College and confirmation of purpose. After high school, Rick attended California Baptist University, deepening his faith and clarifying his calling. A pivotal moment came in 1973 when he traveled 350 miles to hear W.A. Criswell preach. Waiting in line to meet the pastor, Rick received an unexpected prayer. "You're going to make a difference for God." That encounter felt like divine confirmation of his purpose. He earned a Master of Divinity from Southwestern Baptist Theological Seminary in 1979, and later a Doctor of Ministry from Fuller Theological Seminary. But his distinguishing trait was vision, an unshakable conviction to build a church for the broken and those alienated from faith. The birth of Saddleback Church. In 1980, Rick and his wife Kay moved to Orange County, California with no building, money, or congregation. They knocked on thousands of doors asking a simple question: "Why don't you go to church?" Answers like, "It's boring," or "I don't feel welcome," became the blueprint for a new kind of church. On Easter Sunday, April 6, 1980, they held their first service at Laguna Hills High School with 205 attendees. Rick's sermon, "A Daring Faith," wasn't just words, it was a declaration. From a small high school theater, Saddleback Church began, rooted not in tradition but in relevance, honesty, and a desire to reach those who felt overlooked. Growth and vision. What started as a small gathering quickly became a movement. Saddleback Church expanded faster than anyone expected. Hundreds came weekly, drawn not by architecture but by the sincerity of Rick's teaching. His sermons were practical, relatable, and full of empathy. He spoke to people's lives, not just their faith. Yet early success came with hardship. Volunteers transformed spaces into makeshift churches weekly, setting up and tearing down equipment in schools, gyms, and tents. There was no comfort, only determination. Rick often said, "We didn't have a building, but we had a vision." And that vision carried them through the uncertainty of those foundational years. Impact and outreach. By the 1990s, Saddleback Church had grown into a powerful force for social and spiritual change. Thousands of families shared letters of gratitude, particularly around struggles with mental health. Rick emphasized that faith and mental health were not mutually exclusive. His ministry addressed the pain of depression, anxiety, and grief with compassion and practical guidance. He became a trusted voice not just for spiritual encouragement, but for real-life challenges. Yet as he nurtured others, his own body began to show signs of strain. The man who carried so many burdens now faced battles he could not control. Personal health struggles. In 2021, Rick revealed he had spinalis, a rare neurological disorder causing severe muscle spasms. Preaching multiple services became almost impossible. Sleepless nights brought violent twitches, triggered by adrenaline. Doctors later discovered a brain disorder, informally called Warren syndrome, which prevented his body from processing adrenaline correctly, leaving him disoriented and in constant pain. In 2022, he was diagnosed with an autoimmune disease causing chronic inflammation and persistent muscle pain. For a man whose life depended on energy and focus, these illnesses were devastating, forcing him to confront limitations that faith alone could not overcome. Retirement, a difficult decision. Realizing his health could no longer sustain the demands of leadership, Rick made a heartbreaking decision. In June 2021, after 41 years, he retired as senior pastor of Saddleback Church. The announcement shocked his congregation. The founder, the visionary, the teacher who had guided countless lives would step down. Yet even in retirement, his message remained about trust and hope. He passed leadership to Andy Wood and his wife Stacy, emphasizing continuity and care. Rick embraced a new role as founding pastor, focusing on mentoring, global outreach, and guiding initiatives like the Finishing the Task Coalition, legacy and continuing influence. Even in retirement, Rick Warren's influence is profound. Saddleback Church now serves tens of thousands weekly worldwide. Programs such as the Peace Plan, the HIV/AIDS Initiative, and the Hope for Mental Health Ministry continue to transform lives. His best-selling book, The Purpose-Driven Life, remains one of the most impactful Christian works ever written. Through decades of leadership, mentoring, and advocacy, Rick has shown that influence is not measured by titles or stages, but by the lives touched and the hope inspired. Faith in the midst of pain. Rick Warren's story demonstrates that faith is not the absence of suffering, but the courage to face it. From losing his son to battling chronic illness, from global acclaim to physical frailty, he has endured heartbreak while maintaining his mission. He often said, "Everybody needs recovery because nobody's perfect." His journey is a reminder that resilience, empathy, and faith can coexist with vulnerability and pain. Even the strongest hearts may tremble, but their purpose can remain intact, guiding others even when personal strength wanes. Conclusion: purpose beyond struggle. Rick Warren's life is a testament to the enduring power of faith, vision, and compassion. He built a global movement from a high school theater, impacted millions through words and deeds, and faced personal trials that would have broken many. Yet through pain and adversity, his purpose remained unwavering. His message is clear. Life's challenges, even the most profound, can have meaning. Struggle does not negate value, it refines it. Rick's journey inspires believers and non-believers alike to find hope, embrace purpose, and understand that even in suffering, life can make sense.